one thing my dad didn't do was force me. When I played football, it was my decision. You know, it was fully mine. I said, I want to show this guy that I can do this thing. I didn't realize until I was done, you know, because then it really hit me that what I wanted to do, I can't do. I failed at something. You know, I had a dream. I put 18 years of my life. I sacrificed school, basically, you know, focusing on school fully, and it didn't work. In that, there was so much that I had to go through one man when he's not there. You know, he wasn't there the whole time. But now I'm navigating, playing against, you know, the best in the country. Like a lot of my teammates now play in the PSL.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What a way to start.
I heard your girlfriend is pregnant.
What? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And you know what's the problem? Your headlines are like Daily Sun headlines. So I'm like, wow, this guy is gonna what am I getting myself into?
Daily Sun walked so that we could thrive.
For real. You guys
But
are digital.
then you get to the content and the richness. You're like, okay.
Yeah, then it opens up and something totally different to what you thought it was.
Yeah.
Even though it's along those lines, but yeah, no. Shout out.
Welcome, bro.
Thank you so much.
It's been a minute. I mean, things happen and our teams try and align this, but it's been a minute that we've wanted to have you here. What you've been able to build is very admirable.
Thank you.
I'm in awe for you took what people weren't noticing and made something out of it, and not made something out of it. You are winner of People's Choice GQ Man of the Year 2024.
Ish.
We have beef with you in this studio, by the way.
Tell me why.
Because I was nominated in the same category.
I know, but like, how can we beef? How can we be? Now we're working together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Thank you so
you
much.
absolutely deserve it. It couldn't have gone to a more deserving person.
Thank you.
How's your heart?
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting there, you know.
Why just good?
Because in this industry, you don't get a lot of time to feel your ups. You know, it's like you're up and then it's like, okay, cool, you need to maintain and keep working.
Sure.
So it's good. I like where I'm at. So I'm nice. Things happen.
Does it not feel toxic sometimes that you must always outdo your last achievement?
It does, but essentially, you want to feel like life is lived like that. You know what I mean? Like that sense of progression in life. You always want to be chasing something that's better than the last, I think. And for us as artists, it boils down to what we actually do. On a daily basis. So I don't think it's toxic. It just needs the right kind of mindset to tackle it. You know, I don't think this is meant for everybody.
I had Cikizwa Ndalo and on the show, and he spoke about how there is a consistent pressure that fame comes with.
Yeah.
Of consistently showing up even when your life in its private sense is very hollow.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to show up in moments where you're like, I'm actually empty right now?
100%.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of times where, even like the smallest example, my phone got stolen while I was out and someone wanted to take a picture. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? If I just tell him, no, dude, Ish, I'm not crying. No, I took a picture. The smile might have been very crooked, but I still took that picture. And it's just a little micro example of how when you kind of a professional people pleaser, you know, when you're in entertainment and when they're watching you, you know, especially physically. So while you're pleasing people, you fall and lose track of pleasing yourself. So yeah, no, I don't think it's toxic at all, though. I still think it's something that needs to be tackled. I still think there's a way to do this fame thing where it feeds both lives. In one way or another. But I'm still finding that balance. It's really tough. It's really hectic. Even though I've watched it happen, you know, above me, but like the inside is totally another different sport.
It's a whole new animal.
Yeah, it's insane. But I like it. Personally, I'm from sports. I have a sports background. So for me, it's like, let's go. You know, the pressure, let's go. You know, I'm going to shine. Let's go.
On that note, there is Primo9Teen,
Yeah.
and then there's Baloyi, Radebe, if you'd like to prefer it that way.
Ndalo.
Are they different people?
Yeah. Yeah. The women I've dated will tell you that. And they never want Primo.
Okay.
Yeah. So Primo's definitely the showman. Primo's definitely the guy that exists in front of the camera. The outside, you know, the shield. And Offense is the kid inside, you know, is the kid who's always wanted to be dope at something. Who's always wanted to be recognized for his intelligence and stuff like that. So they both need each other, but it's definitely not the same guy. It can't be the same guy. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's healthy.
Kholwa emandleni onawo.
Oh my, we're finally doing this. What does EYL Africa represent? It's about standing in your power. It's about, in isiZulu, it's Kholwa emandleni onawo, which is our tagline. You will see it on the back of my t-shirts. It's about believing in the power that you have, believing in the power that your God, your guides have invested in you. Shop our socks, shop our t-shirt, and yeah, just keep believing in yourself. EYL Africa.
Now available on EYLshop.Africa.
Hey family, quick one. As you know, our podcast is all about growth conversations. It's all about igniting your power. It's all about healing the inner parts of who we are that are difficult to deal with and difficult to manage. As we do that, we'd like your assistance in growing the platform by you subscribing, by you liking all our videos. It helps us to reach greater audiences and change more lives. Do continue enjoying the episode. Would Offense be fine if Primo didn't exist?
That's insane. Is that why you say engineer your life? Like, yes. I think, yeah, they needed each other. Offense needed a lot of protection. You know, I was bullied a lot when I was younger. I used to be very short too.
Short?
I used to be short. I know you can't believe now, you know, Twin Towers, but like I used to be very short. I only showed up in matric. So I was kind of the guy that blended in a lot of the times. And then when people started finding out, especially in primary school, who my dad was, they didn't believe me. So they bullied me about it. They thought I was lying. Mm-hmm. So I needed Primo. I needed someone to save this short little guy that no one believes, you know, and being funny kind of became that thing. Being the people's person, the people pleaser, being just the guy that's there for everybody. And I think that works hand in hand, you know, as much as it was kind of, I won't say trauma response, like it was hectic, but I feel like we all need that. We all need that sense of duality within ourselves. You have that already, you know, rather embrace it and know it and help them dance together instead of fight for the number one spot.
I feel like trauma responses have been bastardized or put a negative connotation too much,
100%.
right? And for example, I was bullied for well, naturally my father wasn't largely present. I grew up in the closet as a queer boy, and if you notice the pattern with queer boys is that they become very successful very quickly. And that is a trauma response to, I need to remove myself from the pain, from the bullying through being excellent, right? I was the guy who was first in grade every year till matric. Like my name is on the boards in school in Durban, because I didn't realize that at the time I was doing that to fill a cup that needed acceptance. But now that I'm older, I'm able to relate with myself and say, I just wanted to be accepted. And I went over and beyond being accepted. I was head boy. So now I'm this guy who's a superstar at school. And because of the excellence, people can't bully you anymore because they have to report to you.
Sure, they have to respect you.
They have to respect you, right? So trauma's not always that bad.
I agree 100%. Your response to that trauma is literally what makes you you. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, circumstances, just the chemicals in their brains, how people are wired mentally and stuff like that, will kind of dictate how they respond to adverse situations, to traumas, to things like that. And I think when you made of the right stuff, that's why I said I don't think the same thing's for everybody. You know, and it's not even an arrogant thing. It's just it's really insane. It's intense. There's a lot more than you think there is. There's a lot of interpersonal relationships on many levels. You know, you had to go through that on your own. You know, relating to family, relating to the people at school, relating to the people you needed to please, and all of these things. And you balance all of that. Now you have an audience. You know, now you balance an audience of however many 100,000 people watch every week and things like that. You know, so it really isn't for everybody. And your response to the things that happen, I'd say they happen for you, not to you. Say nothing happens to you. It happens for you. So if you're tough enough and you made of the right stuff, you'll always be able to flip everything that happens to you into things that happen for you.
You definitely learn that in sport. I can feel it.
100%.
Because sport teaches resilience no matter what. Yeah.
It's a nice physical representation of life. Life.
Yeah.
I feel so blessed to have learned football, to have learned life through football.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it was very to say, hey, timer, I can also do this thing too, you know, because we never necessarily grew up together. But like in that, there was so much that I had to go through one man when he's not there. You know, he wasn't there the whole time. But now I'm navigating, playing against, you know, the best in the country. Like a lot of my teammates now play in the PSL, you know. So it was like really a whole thing, and it worked for a very long time until it just wasn't. And then I was like, yo, then the depression came through, and it's like time to reinvent yourself. So football being my medium for at least 18 years, what a blessing. Like, what a blessing. Even the friends I have now through football, the coaches and mentors that I've developed through this thing, the mentality, how I treat content creation literally was shaped by football, by my mentality on the field, you know.
Lucas Radebe is an international superstar of many years, a legend by far. None of us can dispute that. But here is this man who has a demanding career, is a legend celebrated all over the world for his excellence as a footballer, but he's absent to his child because of that excellence that's driving him there and that purpose.
Yeah.
Were you ever angry that, Dad, why can't you just be with
a lot, you know? But I mean, it's not like he was absent. He was. It wasn't like I woke up every day with my dad and I greeted him and he greeted me and whatever, you know. But like, he did try where he did. He was there where he could be, but like, it was really hectic for a black boy to be going through that stuff. One man, I was like, I'm the first grandson on my mom's side of the family. I'm my dad's first grandson on my dad's side of the family. So there was like a lot of pressure and stuff like that. And he was very far away. And that's another thing, you know. So I was always like, all right, cool. He's there. I'll just do my thing, you know. And my mom is actually the rock. Like, my mom is a superhero.
Yeah.
Like, my mom literally molded me into so much. And you know, I realized the value of a woman when I got older, she started telling me, you know, certain things that she had to do to make it look like he did them. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, just so that it's not like a sour relationship, so that it's not really hectic. She would always like be saying certain things, or no, don't worry, this is gonna happen tomorrow or whatever, and I'd always get over it. So I got into that mindset of getting over stuff very quickly, and then I started looking forward to seeing him, you know. So then it was like, I need this guy's attention when he came, and when he came, I did a lot, you know. I overdid.
Like, let's catch up.
Yeah. I'm trying to squeeze everything I've missed into the weekend, you know. But things happen, life happens. Now it feels like the last 4 or 5 years have been catch up, you know, in that sense. And the relationship is now developing on a way more mature and higher basis, you know. It's beautiful. It's actually really beautiful, you know. And it didn't happen to me. It happened for me. You know, I definitely think I wouldn't be who I am if things were different. I don't think I would have had as much resilience if things were just perfect or the way I thought they were supposed to be. We definitely need resistance, man. Pressure makes diamonds. Diamonds don't just pop up.
When he was away for months on end at work, and a football match of his was being broadcast on television, what feeling did it bring you to watch him on TV when he's been gone for so long?
Yeah, it was insane. It was hectic. Those are my core memories, you know, like that's the basis of me wanting to feel like someone and wanting to be really good at something is World Cup 2002. Being pulled out of school to go watch the game at home.
You in grade 2?
I'm in grade 2.
Yes.
Damn, chill.
We're the same age.
Okay.
So that's how I can.
And 2002, South Africa's doing really well. Like they were fighting, you know, they weren't winning everything, and there was a slim chance. And he scored a goal. The whole house erupted in such a way, and they kind of gravitated towards me. And I was like, "Whoa, is that what happens when that's your guy that achieves that much attention?" You know, and it was a beautiful moment. And that started this tank, this big tank of that said, "You know what? You need to be whatever you do, dog. You need to be this huge. People need to while out this much at home for you. People need to feel this proud to know you and be related to you and be connected to you." So, and I didn't see much. I won't lie, I didn't see much. I wasn't too interested in football at a very young age. But that 2002 World Cup match when he scored against Spain is one of the clearest, most vivid memories of a soccer game I've ever had. I've never watched him live when he was professional.
And you were only 8.
Yeah.
And you still remember that?
Yeah. Perfectly.
Perfectly,
you know, every time that World Cup was when we were still at school, and I remember we had to watch one of the games in the auditorium. I think it was like Slovakia or something. It was the game that we could have won to qualify, and we all in the auditorium, and every time they say my dad's name, people look at me, and it was like, whoa, you know, that stuff is literally the bottom of what I'm made of, you know. And that's why I say it's not, I think it would have been different if I woke up next to this guy every day. It's very easy to take things for granted when you see them. You know, they say contentment doesn't breed gratitude. No, familiarity doesn't breed gratitude, just contempt. You know, people become very content with you when they see you all the time, but you need to have a little bit of me. I needed that separation from I didn't need to. I didn't want that.
I actually fully resonate with you, because what you're saying to me, what you're demonstrating is that your father demonstrated excellence.
Yeah.
He wasn't this parent who's visible in front of you every day, but he demonstrated excellence.
Yeah.
And that foundation of excellence demonstrated at World Cup level is what made offenses say, I want to bore a Primo who will be excellent, who will be known nationwide, internationally too, as an excellent human being in whatever I'm doing. So fathers should strive to demonstrate excellence rather than say
much more.
Funda.
Much more, you know. And one thing my dad didn't do was force me. When I played football, it was my decision. You know, it was fully mine. I said, I want to show this guy that I can do this thing. You know, I had very, very weird complexes in my mind thinking, yeah, dude, maybe I'm adopted. Maybe I'm adopted. I don't chill with this guy. Everybody else lives in England. I'm not.
And you look like I don't so much.
You know, and when I was young, I didn't think I did. You know, so it was like, nah, maybe I'm not this guy's son, you know. So it definitely also came out of, I need to prove to this guy that I'm his son and I have his abilities within me. You know, so I started this whole huge soccer journey, and then I found myself and I lost myself, and then now I found myself here. So it's like, it's unexplainable what happened with this thing. And I'm like I say, I'm very grateful that it happened for me the way it happened for me. I didn't want to be spoiled. I was never a spoiled kid. I grew up in Hammanskraal. I grew up with my mom in Alberton. I moved to Pretoria with my aunt. I came back to Alberton. You know, I finished. And then I lived with my dad for 1 year. You know, but my dad never forced me throughout to do anything. You know, he was like, "Hey, dog, I used to be a dancer," and he was like, "Come out, Ivy." You know, and I had a soccer game, and I'm like, "No, come watch my soccer game." He's like, "Oh, when the last week no look competition, we love it." You know, and I'm like, dude, just why don't you support with that thing that you do too? And now it's like, nah, I didn't want to guide you. I didn't want to tell you to do that thing. It would have been very different. The pressure, all of this stuff. But now I went through that journey myself, discovered it, lost it, came back, and became what everybody knows is who I am.
Sure.
And I don't think I would have been that if any of that didn't happen.
You spoke about a period of depression.
Oh yeah.
When was it and what made you realize I'm depressed?
I won't lie. At the time, I didn't know,
Okay.
and I feel like, especially when it started, I feel like a lot of South African young up and coming soccer players go through this and don't even know that it's depression and anxiety. You know, like you obviously you backed by your situation at home. I had a little bit differently. You know, I didn't have home as my motivation to make it. I had, you know, a lot of psychological reasons, but you don't realize it when you're covering up your hard work with all this determination and hard work and every day and every day and every day that you sometimes get depressed. You know, like I got injured, and that's the first time I got a real taste of depression, where I can't express my talent physically. I can't show you guys that I'm worth it. And the pressure that came in the environment, because we're playing really high level, there's another guy, you know. So the longer you're out for, the longer this guy has to show off his
To
talents,
prove themselves.
you know.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like I got depressed, and now I'm anxious because I want to go back, you know. And I'm injured, but now I'm trying to rush my injury back, and then this injury leads to another injury, and that injury leads to another injury. Now I'm not in consistently. Now I'm thinking too much. Now I'm getting older, you know, and it's all piling on top of each other, on top of each other. I'm not feeling like my dad's supporting me the way it's supposed to. All of these things are just like, and I'm like, no ways, dude. Like I can't get out of this. And it resorted to me finding my value in so many other things.
Yeah.
And how people perceive me, and in how women perceive me, and how so much was happening. But that thing, it felt like a void. It felt like this huge thing that I can't get over, this huge mountain that you just can't climb. And every time you go to training, you see the mountain, but you want to turn your head away from it. And I didn't realize until I was done, you know, because then it really hit me that what I wanted to do, I can't do. I failed at something. You know, I had a dream. I put 18 years of my life. I sacrificed school, basically, you know, focusing on school fully, and it didn't work. You know, I sacrificed money. I sacrificed so much time, and I have nothing to prove from it. So I went through like a 2-year dip where I was like, what are we going to do now? You know?
Do you still feel like a failure, or do you still feel like I failed at that?
No, I feel like life is a very beautiful thing. The School of Hard Knocks is a very gorgeous thing. If you look at it, a lot of the times, people who succeed at a very high level, it's not the first thing that gave them the success. It's like the first thing was the step to teach them what must happen.
Yeah.
That they really resonated with.
Sure.
So I don't think I failed. It's like that just wasn't where you were supposed to. You were supposed to, that was your institution. You know, that was a university. And now life has to happen. Now you have to apply whatever you learned from there. So, I mean, the fact that, like I said, a lot of people I played with play in the PSL now, you know, Dlamini, Jojo from Pirates, Libito, there's guys, Keenan Phillips, in Amazulu, there's so many guys, Soli, Nsundwana, all these brews that are spread across. That's my pride. Is like, I played with these guys, so I know I'm at that. I was at that level, you know, so I didn't fail, and I'm a faithful man. So it's like, I definitely know that wasn't my plan. Like, if it didn't happen, it wasn't for me, and I have to accept that and keep it moving.
So you can disagree with me. My relationship with failure currently is, I used to use words to say I was pivoting. It was a change in direction. Now I'm like, I failed. My relationship with failure is, I failed and it's okay.
Yes.
Like, I failed, it was the end.
Sure.
And let's bury it and let's move on. But are there lessons there? Absolutely.
100%.
Were there principles that were cultivated? Absolutely. Was there a moral compass that was cultivated? Absolutely. Were there things that I did wrong that made me feel? Yes,
100%.
too.
Yeah.
And that is fine. Because in that relationship, I have it from a place of privilege, because I'm doing so well now in my businesses, in my career, with this platform. So I'm able to look back from a success perspective and say, I failed. But I understand it's sometimes harder to say I failed when you are still in the failure.
Sure. I still don't think it's failure. I really don't think it's failure. It's like the concept of saying energy doesn't die. It just transforms and multiplies and becomes whatever it needs to be. It's you taking that and transforming it. It's like how grapes can be raisins if they're dried, grapes if they're not, and wine if it's fermented. And all three levels, it's a grape. You know, a grape doesn't say it failed because
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Just because it doesn't mean it failed. It's just wine now. So it's like, it's a good way to, especially I think it's because it's your masculine. Your masculine is saying, hey, dog, you were supposed to succeed, bro. What's that thing? You failed in the eyes of yourself and your family. What happened? But but it's the nature of life, I think, you know. Metamorphosis happens in that way. Things crack for other things to bind, you know, in proper foundation. So I definitely am a strong believer in that. All my tattoos kind of symbolize that, you know, like this one, inshallah, it means what? God's will. So it's in his will that it will happen. And if it's not, then it won't. And that's what you must take it for, his will, you know, not your will. Then when you say failure, it brings a lot of control of self into this thing. Like, you control everything around you. You know what I mean? Like, it's ego. It's a lot of the ego saying, bro, you were supposed to be the hardest there. What happened? When look at you now, you know, you would have probably been, now you are probably on a trajectory that's way higher than what you thought you were supposed to be successful at. Sure. I thought to myself, I'm not going to be able to hear the Champions League theme every week if I carry on playing. I'm 25 years old. I'm playing at Bidvest. We won the league last season. They like us. We're very talented young group of young boys. They promising us a lot, but nothing's really coming from it. I've been injured a lot. I'm not consistently playing. I have an ankle that gives out every week. So I play, and then for 2 days I'm healing. Where am I going, dog? You know, like, is this grand? Am I going to stay here? Am I going to force things? So, do you want to force the unforceable? Because your dream was to play at Real Madrid, not to play at Kaizer Chiefs.
I hear you.
My dream was to do as much as my bro did. Like, if I heard the Champions League theme, I had to hear it too.
Absolutely.
You know, and then I said, I'm not going to get there. Let me be real. I'm giving myself a proper 5 years with a very injured body to get there, when it takes people a proper 19 crazy years, you know, to do this thing. Let me leave. Let me spare myself. That's why I'm saying that 2 years, it felt like failure. But after that, I started coaching. I actually I got a coaching course that my dad encouraged me to do, and I did it with a whole lot of legends, him too. We did our D license at SAFA, and then I was like, all right, cool. That's the first transformation from being a football player to being a coach. To now facilitating the game for other people and other people's minds and other people's talents. And that went really well. You know, I got the kids to like a cup final. They went from like second last in the season to sixth in my first season. Like, it was really dope. And I was like, okay, cool. So there's definitely more light outside of that one tunnel that you were in. And then that's the beginning of me coming out of it. And I got better at coaching, and I did better and better, until I was at the point where I did TikTok because I was bored and I couldn't coach because it's COVID. You're not allowed on the field. You're not allowed human interaction. So now this led me to that. And then I have to quit coaching because these kids don't even call me Coach Primo anymore. It's Primo9Teen, you know, and that metamorphosis happened so seamlessly,
right?
That I can't be here beating myself up for leaving, because then this wouldn't have happened, you know. I stayed there 18 years, 19 years, and I got where I got. I've been here 4 years, and I've gotten way further. So it is what it is, dog.
God's will.
Exactly.
Because now you're in God's will, it feels like things are happening at an exponential speed.
At light speed. At
right?
God's speed.
Right?
Yeah. At God's speed. That's literally what I believe. Once you tap into that purpose, passion, feeling, and ability and timing, you're gone. You're gone. You won't be stopped. You're gone. Time is not even a thing anymore. You know, time is a construct now, because it's what you're doing. Time is measured by how much you do now, not by how long you live. You know, so then it's about how much you can keep doing and proving and improving. So yeah, dog, it's not failure, man. Don't beat yourself up, dog. You're great, dog. You turned out fine. You really did. It's lit. It's very lit.
When does the penny drop that I don't have to crump anymore. I can be a content creator now full time.
The crazy thing is, I still had to dance a little bit for like an audition that I had, and they wanted a dance tape, and I had to give them a little bit of something. But I think when I really like, I started getting into TikTok, and then when I get into something, I'm enveloped. If I like it, I dedicate everything. That's why I dedicated so much of my time to football. I dedicate everything. So because also COVID made it conducive and gave me a lot of time, I could sit for 4 hours just watching TikToks, from 3 a.m. because I just woke up until 7 in the morning. I'm just watching. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it works. This is how these people do it. And I just broke it down. And then I tried it with American stuff, and it was really dope. And I was making videos I liked. And then the more things happened, the more I was manipulating what I'm doing. And I was like, I have power in this thing, And then I decided, what, let me post every day, number one, every weekday. Number two, everything I post must be South African. The sound or the joke. But I'm also getting into doing South African sounds. Then I manipulated South African sounds because they weren't popular at all. People would rather use trending American sounds. People weren't using normal, everyday people from South Africa. And then I started just doing that if something was funny and I used the sound of it. The moment it caught on and people at home would respond to me, that's when the penny dropped. Because there was a time where I was trending in America where for a week I was posting in this trend. We were in this trend and I was remixing that trend for that whole week, and I'd get 1 million views, another 1.3. That whole week, every video I posted with that trend was trending in America. And I was like, I can't feel it. It's dope. The numbers are nice, but I can't feel it. Until I switched it up and I felt it happen here, I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, you're onto something. And then I just didn't stop. For that next 2 years, I just said every day. And then...
What makes you think you can monetize this thing, though? Doesn't it still feel like I'm just pushing a passion here? Or it's because you've studied the Americans that they've monetized it. You're like, oh, as usual, the wave is still coming this side.
So there's two parts to this, I think. One is that, but monetizing TikTok was very hard in the beginning because it seemed very disingenuous in comparison to your content. So there was a huge difference and people wouldn't interact with it as much. Number two, I studied brand and marketing management. So I always knew that marketing had to come into play. I always knew that whatever I had to do had to be marketable and had to be profitable. So the moment my viewership started increasing, I knew that it had to be marketable. I have to be marketable, number one. Number two, my page and my content must be marketable. It must be curated in a way that someone can see their business and brand says, I want this guy to communicate that. And someone trusted me, There's a couple of people right in the beginning. A friend of mine, Dineo, had this campaign and they were, betting on social media content creators, and she had 5,000 Rand as a budget. I said, give it to me. I'll do something. And then I did something and I kept doing things and it was really dope and they liked it. And then Ghosted came out from NTV Base.
I remember.
And Ayanda Mantomazana Gaise.
MVP.
No. She's in the back. She's head of marketing buff and genius.
Sure.
One of Africa's brightest marketing minds. She took a chance on me. She was like, hey, dog, you can do this thing. Do you think you can do it for Ghosted, the TV show? And I said, all right, cool, I can. She's like, I only got this much. How much would you like? I said, no, that's perfect. I'll give you 4 videos for this much. And she's like, all right, cool. And over that 4 weeks, I posted a video a week and she paid me. And then she paid me again. And I was like, wait, dog, I think you paid me twice. She's like, nah, it's okay. I didn't pay you twice. I said, oh, okay. There's value to my work.
Yeah.
There's value to my perspective and how I see things. And from then on, I said, plug and play. Always have a mind open enough to put someone else's brand through your machine.
Come on.
And come out with a message
that
relates to how my audience would
see
that.
Yeah.
So I was always waiting to turn whatever I do into money or into marketability or into so now it's just ad space. Most of my videos clear 400, 500,000 of views, in a day.
Yeah.
So if another person's video comes underneath or people are scrolling, why not?
Yeah. Would you confidently say content creation is a dependable career?
Yep. 100%. I feel like it's also coming out on how the industry is treating us. They're slightly threatened by the fact that content creators are getting so much power, and it's the wrong reaction. So they need to kind of work with us a little bit more, knowing that this is a very new industry, that this is an industry that's super profitable, and that when done right, naturally, you can actually do more than the traditional marketing ways. That
Can I
they used
vent?
to. Go off.
Can I vent?
That's what we're here to do.
Yes.
We're here to engineer our life. Engineer yours also.
Jeez, traditional media is threatened by us podcasters.
100%.
They are shivering.
scared.
They're shivering. Right now, you and I are both alternative media creators,
Yep.
and we are going to do numbers without asking permission from anyone.
Regardless.
There was no red tape.
Regardless.
There was no begging someone. There was no waiting for 10 million approvals. There was no somebody who doesn't like you, so we
No
won't
channel.
shoot this. There was no channel.
No, you didn't wait for anyone to give you a huge studio with big cameras.
Right?
You said, I'm going to do it now.
Right?
I'm going to do it now.
But
on
the
my
impact.
terms. Exactly.
But the impact, they know.
It's very scary. It's, and I understand, it's the same when in football, you one of the older players and you're still in this team and there's a younger player who's showing out.
Yeah.
The coach is obsessed with him. And it's like, coach, no, dog, look at me, bro. Like,
I've been here.
I'm your captain of the team. But no, this guy has the potential and he has the time. So it takes a lot. And it's what we feel like we deal with a lot of South Africans within politics. We feel like we deal with that. We feel like the people in power don't want to give it up quick enough. In entertainment, we feel like,
Same thing.
I can definitely say that there's a lot of people in the acting industry who feel very threatened by content creators being so popular that they can come through and be casted for a movie role.
Sure.
It's rubbed people the wrong way that I've been able to achieve what I've achieved, being on 2 Netflix projects and a full season of Code 13. It's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, but that's not my business. That's not of my business.
Sure.
And as content creators, that's none of our business.
Mm-hmm.
Our business is how times are moving and switching and how the consumption of entertainment is transforming and how we are on top of that and how powerful that's becoming. We have people like Aiden Ross in America who are talking to Donald Trump on his stream. We have people like Lasizwe in SA who are speaking to President-elect Julius Malema.
Absolutely.
On awkward dates. These things are really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what they do, we're coming, bro. Just work with us. Brief us better. Give us time. Respect us. Give us the money that we deserve, and that when you asked us for our rate card, we put that amount. Give us that amount. You're going to get more than you think you're going to get if you really allow me to envelop this with my taste.
Absolutely.
Not everybody can, but if you really trust someone and if they have a brand strong enough, do what you're willing to do with a billboard.
Absolutely.
A billboard can't tell you how many people drove past and actually looked at it and engaged, or how many people bought from a billboard. People drive past it. If anything, we spend 3 seconds looking at a billboard every day, but people spend at least 10, 15 seconds looking at a Primo video a day. Then that Primo video leads them to the next 15 seconds, which leads them to the next 15 seconds, which leads them to comments, which leads them to likes, which leads them to sharing, which leads to the sale. So we have a much more measurable form of advertising, and they still want to criticize and downsize us and negotiate us down. And
you spend 3 million rand advertising on a soapy, on a TV channel that gives them 50,000 viewers per night, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And then that same 3 million rand, you're too scared to give to a platform like this, which has an average viewership of 20 minutes per episode. 20 minutes. You're scared. 20 minutes per episode, 1 million views a month. You're scared to give that to a person who has proven numbers. I don't even need to write you a report.
100%.
Just log on and see.
You just know.
See, the numbers are there.
Yeah.
The numbers you see are the numbers I see.
100%. And if you want more, I'll give you.
Yeah.
If you want more numbers, I'll give you. And it's insane. Like, there was points where I was clearing 19 million views a month.
That is crazy,
at my peak.
bro.
I'm clearing Generations numbers at peak.
Crazy,
and it's
bro.
like, bro, you don't want to trust me?
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm doing something right. You know? So there's a lot that needs to still happen. in Europe, Europe and America are always like 4 or 5 years ahead of our markets, and then we reach and take things from them. And on the marketing side, we are still around 4 or 5 years behind. I was speaking to this guy, Pierre, who owns Humans, as co-founder of Humans, the app.
Yes,
social
correct. The agency.
And
yes.
I speak to him a lot. He's French. So I speak to him a lot, and he knows marketing from obviously the academic standpoint fully, and now from an international standpoint. And every time we talk, he's like, dude, I like the way you do things. We need to find a way to make it more catchy in SA so that the budget opens up, because in Europe, 5 to 12% of every marketing budget goes to social media. In South Africa, we don't even reach 2% of the marketing budget, or 5%. He said some numbers when we were at the FE panel with a whole lot of brand managers, account managers, marketers, and all of these things. And in that, it was like, dog, there's so much that can still happen if you integrate this thing properly, but there's so much stubbornness in the game. But also it's that thing that happens in time, where you have to break things down in order to show the value that thing has. You have to show that it has the ability to break things down and be profitable. Hopefully I can be an example like that individually.
Yeah.
Where my life can reflect how much money advertising on such a natural level can generate. On my own level, I make quite a bit of money annually. And that's only because I've tried to integrate these two things in marketing in my way. Hopefully that's proof for someone else that marketing in the right sense really makes a lot of money, even if you feel like it's rudimentary, even if you feel like it's entry level, or whatever the case may be. If you're moving with the time, if you are right here, right now, there's a lot that you can do. Birimarung looked like a joke just before Focalistic's verse jumped on. Birimarung, when they were recording, when Birimarung was being recorded, and someone recorded a video of the guy from the back and it trended on TikTok, it sounded like a stupid song. That guy from Bitori, when he was doing that. When it came out and people heard it became song of the year in 3-4 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
Just like that. Yeah. So the coin flips so much quicker for us now that we are growing and engineering our minds with social media. Social media is bad. It's really mentally crazy. It's divisive. It can be very intense. But if you just channel into the way you want to use it, it'll show you whatever you want to see. It'll show you exactly what you want to see, actually. So I think it's only a matter of time. I was
speaking to a friend that I find myself, especially in these, now that we're 30, social media creator, not a consumer. Full-on creator.
Yeah.
I even have a second phone.
Yeah.
A phone that does the work stuff, the podcast stuff, the things I create, and my personal phone, which doesn't have the apps. I just talk to the people I love on that phone.
Sure.
I post WhatsApp statuses that are funny on a number that hardly anybody has.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm almost there.
Please get there. It will change your life. It will change your life.
I'm just scared people are going to think I'm a hoe. They're going to think, when I was sort of for them is too much of favor.
Primo, that second phone
I need to
has like 20-something people on it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I can post naked on there and it'll never leak.
But I hear you.
You get it.
100%.
You get it. But you can't be that extreme right now with your personality, because there's always somebody you're never sure who's watching.
The funniest thing is how people react when I need a vent. Like I'll just post a WhatsApp status. Like I'm just venting general vent.
Right?
They'll act like the world is crumbling and it's their chance to kind of save me. Primo, let me save you. And it's like, no, I'm just venting.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes.
and sometimes you need a space where your vent can just fall into the void too. Or someone can just say, "Hi, wena, dintang."
Yeah.
Lelang, and then it can just be a lighthearted chat. But it's such a heavy thing. It's so consuming. Social media, success, fame, work, it all just consumes you more and more to a point.
So how I got to the decision, it was actually recommended a year ago. I'm consistent with psychology.
Sure.
And my therapist recommended it a year ago. She said, I can see you need to separate your life now because it's too intertwined.
Yeah.
Because you love what you do so much, it becomes one thing where you don't know when the fun is the work and the work is the fun.
Sure.
Right?
100%.
And when I took that decision, people had meltdowns. We can't find you. December, my phone was off. My work phone was off the whole month. He even had a meltdown a bit. But for me, it was necessary because I left for December and I said, I'm going to completely rest.
Yeah.
And I had this other phone where my life was fun.
Yeah.
I could post
Light-hearted.
Yeah. Doing
No pressure.
debauchery things where it's not Lungelo from Engineer Your Life. No, it was December. It was December. Bekumnandi ngoDecember.
But like, that's also another thing. Our lives are on our phones now.
Yeah.
So the moment you touch your phone, if you're working on your phone, 100%, you're moving, you're on the highway. You share 120, you need your full attention, you know. So I realized the need for a real holiday. No network, nothing. There was a time I went to this really far place in Makhalis. There was no network. Like, it's not even that I'm switching my phone off. I want a network. And if I want to, I have to walk to Mlanjeni at the bottom there.
Sure.
Stand up for 2 minutes. And I was like, okay, no, let me chill.
Yeah.
And that quiet is so healing, to not have your phone ring, to not have anyone demand anything from you, to demand you to show up in any way.
There's always something, bro.
On
our phones.
If
There's
they're
always
not asking for an e-wallet, it's this brand wanting to know if you... Okay, guys, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Give me 2 days.
Yeah.
The world won't end. And it's so important to have that balance.
I present to you doing that for 4 weeks. That's what I did in December.
I'm scared. It sounds like I'm losing a lot of money. I'm scared. It and that's another part of it. The anxiety that comes with not being here. You know, there's a weird thing about fame where you feel like if you're not posting anything or working or producing, they're forgetting. There's a weird thing about that. You know, you feel like that you're slipping out of the minds of the people and you need to come back with a bigger banger just so you can say, hey, I'm still here. You know, it's such crazy pressure that ends up just attaching itself to you. So, we need it. We need that time away. And that's why I feel like you need to value your work highly and they need to value how much we value our work.
Yeah.
Because how much stress goes into that. I keep reading this thing that says, when you're a plumber, you don't get paid to change a rubber. You get paid to know which rubber needs to be changed at what time. And that the work might have taken an hour, but the knowledge that it took for me to know that took my whole life. So that you paying for my whole life condensed into the service I do for you.
Absolutely.
You know, and when that culture becomes a real thing in content creation, especially in South Africa, I think South Africa is looking at something very special. I think we've just tapped into a very crazy pool of power, of talent, of energy that the next 6-7 years are going to be incredible for us as a country and as a people. We already see how much taste we curate for the whole world in terms of grooving.
Everything, bro.
Most
everything
used to have
clothes
in it.
Everything. We're just setting standards.
We everywhere. Teba Magugu, Makasa, all these people have shops everywhere.
Yeah.
All over the world. Tyler basically doesn't live here
she
anymore.
She visits us.
Because Romona guy. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that show that our opinion and our taste is really high. It's really high standard. And I feel like that's only going to get better the more we do this thing and the better we get at doing this thing and the more respect we get for doing this thing. You know, people are doing really amazing things out of nothing, out of absolutely an idea, a brain fart, you know, and you control a piece of social media through your brain farts, you know. That's what mine are. Mine are brain farts. People start topics over these things. People remember these things for 2 years, you know. The moment I think that happens, our potential as a country will be fully unlocked. That's why I like Julius Malema's kind of emphasis into entertainment when he was running in this last election, because I think he saw that, you know, and that's why he got all these people that had trending podcasts and trending songs and all these people that were really in there. Tulani Way, you know, Uncle Vinny, all these tastemakers, and says, hey guys, let's try some way. And that's why even Minister Gayton, the way he's kind of going about, I saw him at the Ketronada concert. I was like, wait, whoa, you know, like, was you willing? You know, so I think that focus on entertainment is gonna bring a huge shift in just the power structures in general. You know, entertainment is very powerful. And I think as Black South Africans, we're going into a very powerful stage within the next 5 to 10 years.
And last but not least, Primo, what's that one thing in life you know for sure that you're absolutely certain of?
Sure. Yes, sis. That question came heavy. That I'll never fail. I'm 100% sure that I'll never fail. I'll keep transforming. I'll never fail. I'll keep building on top of things. But I am 100% sure as long as I believe that there's a God above me, I'll never fail.
Sure.
I'm good.
God makes it certain that failure is not an option for me.
Yeah. God is the certainty.
God is the certainty.
Is the certainty.
Yeah.
Faith. It's all encapsulated in that one word: faith, grace, strength, will, trust, love. It's all encapsulated in this concept that comes off when you begin in trusting something that you don't know and you don't see and you can't feel, but you know somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think God is right in the center of that.
Mr. Offense, thank you so much.
Shout out, you engineered my life a bit.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, you feel honored, man. You know, at this chair, there was a lot of things going on.
A lot of that chair.
Hey,
some people spill their whole lives.
People's lives. People's lives. You know, people have searched and been offered millions for their Ponyash, dude. Like, many things have happened on this. I am honored to be one of them. I'm honored to be on your wall of fame.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Introducing the epitome of luxury living. Kalu Luxury Villas and Suites, your private sanctuary of opulence and elegance. Nestled amongst the lush, sun-kissed landscapes of Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, this Kalu Luxury Villa is a paradise of tranquility, offering breathtaking panoramic views of the neighborhood. Step into a world of refined luxury where every detail has been meticulously crafted to create an atmosphere of sophistication and comfort. This villa is kept within a gated and secure property for your peace of mind. The Kalu Villa is available for both short-term and long-term stays, making it the ideal location for your next vacation or special event. This villa boasts spacious living areas and floor-to-ceiling windows that flood the interior with natural light, making you feel at one with the surrounding beauty, paired with multiple terraces, an outdoor lounge, and a dining area. Live the dream, make memories, and indulge in the life you deserve. Contact us today to book your stay or to learn more about this exquisite property. Your oasis of opulence awaits.